By the age of 8, I'd already learned how to put on a show, projecting confidence and pushing down fear. The fear of being left alone again with someone who was supposed to love me and protect me, but abused me instead. So I donned my ballet costume, projecting to the world, I'm in charge, I've got this. Just 2 years ago, I was living the life I thought I was supposed to live, lucrative, high profile, the executive director of a large voluntary health organization, working a lot of hours, doing the fundraising, managing the staff, running the place, and taking care of everyone else, but not myself. I was suffering with severe fibromyalgia, really brought on through a lot of stress and anxiety, and I was pushing it down. I was hiding behind a mask. I was hiding this mask behind my fear and just my inability to show the world that I wasn't as strong and powerful as I thought I should be. So I walked away from the position that I really loved without a clear plan. I gave my notice. I stepped into vulnerability and onto my yoga mat, spending the next 18 months working on my yoga teacher training, immersing myself fully in the practice, learning how to connect my body and my breath and my movements, learning and studying about yoga, shedding those things that no longer served me, releasing those things that were just no longer mine to hold. Because you see, yoga, it is about the poses, but it's really not about the poses. The poses are really a tool. They're this tool to get to what we're really after, and what we're really after is this amazing state of peace, where our thoughts have mostly calmed, this place of self-realization, where we're at our highest best. So you see, we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts per day. Did you know that? And those thoughts, they come at us, and they create a lot of anxiety and a lot of pressure, and then we start to breathe way up here in our chest, because these thoughts, they aren't always nice, and they're often conflicting with each other. And when we start breathing like this, our body starts to release these stress hormones, this cortisol. And it was really helpful for our ancestors when they saw that tiger, because that cortisol allowed them to run like hell, getting away from that tiger. It's called the flight or fight syndrome. I'm sure that you've heard of it before. Unfortunately, we still breathe like that every day, all the time, putting those stress hormones into our system. But you know, babies and puppies, they know how to breathe. Have you ever watched a baby or a puppy sleeping? They're breathing really down deep, being present, breathing down deep in their diaphragm. And they're at peace and in the moment and being present. These guys, they got it figured out. The practice of yoga trains our brain. It actually helps us to become more present, more calm, and all those thousands of thoughts that are in our brain begin to slow down, and we begin to realize we're not actually our thoughts. We are the thinker of our thoughts. This is Rachel, my friend. At 14, she discovered yoga. She practiced on and on most of her life, and in 2011 discovered College Park Yoga, really immersing herself in the practice, really getting calm and present and training her brain and her mind. And then one beautiful sunny day, Rachel was swimming very peacefully, just enjoying the weather, when the unthinkable happened. Rachel was attacked by an alligator. And in that moment, she remembered to breathe. Rachel remembered her practice, allowing her mind and her body to be calm. And you can see Rachel still practices yoga today. In fact, just 2 weeks after that accident, she was back to her practice every single day. And she says yoga makes her feel powerful and strong and uplifted and confident, as you see her here. You know, it's really about the practice. And life gives us so much opportunity to practice. Practice being present. Practice being there in the moment. Practice being with your breath. Life gave me an incredible opportunity to practice one day in January of 2016 when I opened up the door. And on the other side of that door, there was a police officer. That officer was there looking for my son, Zach. He was there to tell him that Zach's father, my ex-husband, had taken his own life. We didn't know that he'd become reclusive. We didn't know that he spent the past year before that just living off his retirement. Our hearts were broken. We felt shame and blamed ourselves. I blamed myself I felt shame for the way he passed, for how it happened, and worst of all, my son was holding onto that same burden, that same guilt, and that same shame. It's quite devastating. So, my dog O'Neill, he helped me get on the mat. I didn't want to get back on the mat right away. But dogs, they're always present. They're always right there. They're right in the moment. They're not living in the past. They're not living in the future. They're right there in the moment. And O'Neill was with me in the moment, helping me get back to my mat, back to where I needed to be. So, of course, I got O'Neill certified to be a therapy dog because we know that yoga and pet therapy are well documented for healing. And we teach a community class now called Heal with O'Neill, and he's available before and after class for extra love and petting. So these last couple of years, these last 2 years, have really been about transforming for me, including those 20 extra pounds that I've been carrying around as if my thoughts and my feelings and my anxieties were all just being held down deep at a cellular level. And when we practice being present and calm on the mat, like Rachel, it becomes more readily available to us when we're off the mat. Gets us unstuck, helps us move forward. So what's keeping you stuck? Is it something physical? Is it something mental, maybe emotional? If you can breathe, you can do yoga, and you can change your life. Thank you.